Hello, my dear students. Hope you are fine. I do welcome you again to another class of my video teaching, which we have named as online teaching. Still now, I am not satisfied in this process because I feel I am doing my part, not 100%, because my part is not only to explain but also to make sure that you have understood, which I can do only when I see your expressions on the face, front to front in the classroom. But that is not possible now. So only 50% of my work of explaining, I am doing it through this video. And now there's another way in which I can be to some extent sure whether you have understood or not, and that is if you ask any doubt. And I had told you after explaining the first lesson of your book, A Witty Answer, I had told you at the end that if there is any doubt, feel free to ask me without any hesitation. Ask me the doubt, but still now I haven't got any response. Even I haven't got whether you have understood or not. No one said yes, or no one sent me a message telling me, ma'am, we have understood it or we haven't understood it. I don't know how many of you have watched the video, how many of you have understood it, how many of you have not understood it. It is completely a great question mark in my mind. Yet, I have to proceed on with my course, thinking that let me continue teaching, and when the school reopens, I'll see with the doubts. And that is why I have decided to teach one more lesson, the second one which is in your course, that is a poem, Sheep, by W.H. Davies, and that is William Henry Davies. Sheep, page 23 of your book, New Radiant Reader. Look at your book, all of you. I'll read out the poem first. Page number 23 of your book, Sheep, chapter 5, by William H. Davies, that is William Henry Davies. William, W-I-L-L-I-A-M, Henry, H-E-N-R-Y, Davies, D-A-V-I-E-S. William Henry Davies, who was a Welsh poet, W-E-L-S-H, Welsh poet. Welsh is a country of UK or Old Britain. It's a country of Old Britain or United Kingdom. Anyway, listen to the poem completely. When I was once in Baltimore, a man came up to me and cried, "Come, I have 1,800 sheep and we will sail on Tuesday's tide. If you will sail with me, young man, I'll pay you 50 shillings down. These 1,800 sheep I take from Baltimore to Glasgow town." He paid me 50 shillings down. I sailed with 1,800 sheep. We soon had cleared the harbour's mouth. We soon were in the salt sea deep. The first night we were out at sea, the sheep were quiet in their mind. The second night they cried with fear. They smelt no pastures in the wind. They sniffed, poor things, for the green fields. They cried so loud I could not sleep. For 50,000 shillings down, I would not sail again with sheep. This is the complete poem. It's a very small poem. It's a very easy one. After I have read, you must have understood. It's nothing to be described, nothing to be explained. It's so easy to written in very simple language. Come to the poem. There are different forms of poetry. Lyric is one of the forms. Lyric, L-Y-R-I-C, lyric. Lyric is a poem which is so written, it is written in such a way that it can be sung. It can be sung. It is a song which can be sung in accompaniment with or in company of or with a lyre. L-Y-R-E. Lyre. Lyre is a stringed musical instrument. So lyric is a form of a poem, ode, ballad, sonnet, many forms are there. Lyric is a form of a poem. This poem Sheep is a lyric. It is written in the form of a lyric. Now come to the structure of the poem. What is the structure of a poem? In which way? The way that the lines are written. You see how many stanzas are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The poem is written in the form of a lyric with 5 stanzas, written in 5 stanzas, and each stanza, you see how many lines are there? 4 lines. A stanza of 4 lines is called a quatrain. Q-U-A-T-R-A-I-N. Quatrain. Quatrain is a stanza of 4 lines. So what did you find? This poem is a lyric written in 5 stanzas of 4 lines each. Now I'll teach you about the rhyming pattern, in which way the lines are rhyming or lines rhyme with each other. I hope you understand by rhyme. In your lower classes you must have read, write the rhyming word of this, write the rhyming word of that. Pronunciation will be the same. That is what is called the rhyming word. So see, how to find out the rhyming words, how to find out the rhyming scheme of a poem, rhyming pattern of a poem. Come to the last word of each line. Read the last word of each line. See, first line, Baltimore. Okay, mark, take your pencil, mark beside Baltimore, write with small a. Write small a. Then come to the next line. A man come up to me and the last word is cried. Cried and Baltimore, are they pronounced, the pronunciation is same? Are the pronunciation same for them? Are they rhyming? No. So, beside cried, write small letter B, because A and B are two different. A points to one word which has a different rhyme. B points to another word which has a different rhyme. So, A, B. Come to the third. Last word is sheep. Is it rhyming? No. Baltimore A, cried B, sheep C. Next letter. Come to tide. Fourth line, last word tide. Is it rhyming with anything? Yes, it is rhyming with cried. That is B. So what is the form? What is the rhyming pattern? A, B, then C, then B. Okay, come to the second stanza. You find out yourself. First line, last word is man. Write A. Second line, last word is down. It's not rhyming. So write B. Come to the third line, last word is take. Is it rhyming? No. Again A, B, C. Come to the last word of the last line of second stanza, that is town. Rhyming with down. So A, B, C, B. Again the same thing you will find in third stanza. A, down, sheep, B, mouth, C, deep, A. So you will find the same rhyming pattern in all the stanzas. What is it? A, B, C, B. So if someone asks you a question, what is the form and structure of the poem? You will say the poem is a lyric written in 5 quatrains. 5 stanzas of 4 lines each. So 5 quatrains. It is written in 5 quatrains, and each stanza having the rhyming pattern of A, B, C, B. So you understood the form and structure of the poem. It is very easy. The theme of the poem is nothing. What does the poem tell us about? The poem tells us that some man wanted to take his sheep from one place to another, and he took the help of a boatman who has a boat, and he has to carry all the sheep crossing the sea, crossing the deep sea, carrying all the sheep, and the number of sheep is it mentioned at 1800 sheep, and he has to cross. And what was his experience? What was the boatman's experience in carrying so many sheep? When he was told that he would be given a good amount of money, he agreed and he took the sheep. But what his experience was, that is mentioned in the poem. And finally it ends with his own decision, having learnt a lesson that he will never do it again. Whatever amount of money he may be given, but he will not agree to do that particular work of carrying or sailing with sheep. Whatever amount of money will be given to him. That is the poem ends with. When I was once in Baltimore, okay, this Baltimore actually is in a town in Baltimore is a city. It is an important seaport. Baltimore is an important seaport of Maryland. Maryland is a state in United States. USA, what do you say? So when the boatman, it is the experience of the boatman who says, so who is the I here? Who is I here? You will write I is the sailor or the boatman. When that boatman once was staying in Baltimore, as I told you, it is a city, is an important seaport of Maryland, Maryland, which is a state in United States. A man one day came up to him and he asked, cried in the sense, requested him. He said, come, I have 1800 sheep and we will sail on Tuesday's tide. So he asked that on Tuesday he wants to sail from Baltimore to some other place, and he has how many sheep? He told 1800 sheep with whom he wants to sail from Baltimore, and that too when? On Tuesday. When the Tuesday's tide, in the sense when the sea tide will be high. It is on the high tide that the boats or the ship starts their sailing. So it is on Tuesday's tide. He told he will be ready to go with his 1800 sheep, and he asked the sailor to take him from Baltimore with his 800 sheep. So what did he say to that sailor? What did he say to that boatman or the sailor? What did he say? It's in the next stanza of the poem. If you will sail with me, young man. That man who came with the owner of that 1800 sheep, he came and told the sailor, addressing the sailor as young man. The sailor was a young man. He said, if you will sail with me, young man, I will pay you 50 shillings. Shilling, British coin. And actually, you know what is the amount of value of 1 shilling in Indian currency? 0.72 rupee, not even 1 rupee. 1 shilling a coin. So he says, I will pay you 50 shillings. Down means immediately. The moment you will cross my ship from this place, that is from Baltimore to some other place which you will tell now, I will immediately pay you 50 shillings. So 50 into 0.72. That much amount in Indian currency. But it is not in India. The poem is, the setting of the poem is not in India. So, as I told you, Baltimore it is a state in US. So anyway, he said, I'll pay you 50 shillings. These 1800 sheep I take. He says, I'll take these 1800 sheep from Baltimore to Glasgow town. Glasgow is a city in Scotland. Scotland it is United Kingdom. You know what's the distance between Glasgow and Baltimore? 3,389 miles covering the sea route. Okay. So from Baltimore to Glasgow town, where is Glasgow? It's a city in Scotland which is in United Kingdom. So if I will pay you 50 shillings immediately, the moment you will take my 1800 sheep from Baltimore to Glasgow term. So you must be thinking, what is the problem in carrying the ship? The ship will be in the boat. But you think the number of sheep, it is not 1 or 2 sheep. It is 1800 sheep. So whether the boatman will get ready or not, that comes the question in the next stanza of the poem. He paid me 50 shillings down. So even before the journey started, the man paid the sailor the amount that he had told of. How much? 50 shillings. I sailed with 1800 sheep. So the journey started with 1800 sheep. We soon had cleared the harbour's mouth. Harbour is the port. As I told you, the Glasgow is the important seaport. Baltimore is an important seaport of Maryland. So they have to come out of the port to enter into the sea. Harbour, where actually the ships come and take rest and load or unload the goods. That is a harbour. So he had his boat there, and finally they started. And first they have to come out of the harbour and then enter into the deep sea. So very soon they sailed out of the mouth of the entrance or exit of the harbour. They came out of it, and very soon we were in the salt sea deep. Very soon they entered into the deep sea. And you know why salt is told about the sea? It is the water is salty. The salt deep sea they entered very soon. Who were there in that boat? The boatman, the owner of the ship, and 1800 sheep were there. So they very soon sailed out of the harbour and entered into the deep sea. Now such a long distance they have to cover. So how many nights they have to spend sailing on the sea? The first night we were out at sea, those sheep were quiet in their mind. See, quiet, Q-U-I-E-T, quiet means silent, not noisy. Now you just imagine a picture, 1800 sheep. Do you think they will be quiet? And once they start, these animals are gregarious animals. They love to live in flocks, in groups. And once one starts bleating, obviously many of them will start doing the same. Just imagine the condition, 1800 sheep bleating together. What will be the condition of the two men who are there? Now one is the owner of the sheep, or the shepherd. If he takes care of, then he's the shepherd. He must be habituated to the bleating sounds of the sheep. But think of the boatman, or think of the sailor. What will be his condition? But anyway, what he says, the first night when they were out in the sea, the sheep were very surprising. The sheep were very quiet. They did not make any sound. They were quiet in their mind. They may be wandering. They must be feeling something different. Crossing a sea they may not have experienced. So the surrounding was completely new to them. The atmosphere was new to them. And they must be wandering. Maybe out of fear, they were quiet. They were completely quiet. So they were quiet in their mind. But second night, when the same situation, they saw the same thing all around. Water and water and water. The second night, what did they do? They started crying. That too, why? The reason is with fear. They started crying with fear. Why? Because they could not sniff, they could not smell any grassland. Pastures. Pastures means green grassland in the wind. They could not get any smell of greenery. They could not get any smell of grass all around them. When they turned their view, they must have seen only water around them. And that might have created fear in them. Maybe fear of what to eat. Maybe fear of getting lost in some new environment, new surrounding. And so they got so scared that started bleating on all of them. Just imagine all of them, if they start bleating, what will be the condition of the boatman. So they smelt no pastures. They could not smell any pasture in the wind. The wind carries the smell of the grasses to their nose. But here they could not sniff. They could not smell any greenery all around them. It was not carried out to them by the wind. And it's mentioned in the last stanza, you see, poor things. They are poor. In the sense that it's not that they don't have money. Here poor means helpless. They were in a very helpless condition. They could not run out even. Suppose you don't like a place, you will think of running away from there. Maybe they don't like the place. But they were helpless enough. They could not run away from there. Why? Because they were surrounded by only water. So they sniffed, they smelled. They tried to smell. They sniffed. They tried to smell. If they could get any green smell, also to say greenery, scent of grass, which they are used to feed on or feeding on. So they sniffed, poor things, for what? They sniffed for the green fields. They missed that. So they smelled. They tried to get the smell. Sniff means smelled. Past tense of sniff. They smelt and they tried to get the scent of the grasses, if there is anything, any grassland nearby. They cried, but they could not get it. And they started bleating so loudly. Bleat, B-L-E-A-T. I hope you know what is the sound made by the sheep. Bleat. So they cried so loudly, they bleated so loudly that the sailor could not sleep. It's obviously very difficult for a person to sleep when so many sheep, 1,800, and if most of them are bleating, it's really very difficult. They cried so loud that I could not sleep. And the last two lines shows what decision he takes finally. For 50,000 shillings, now that man had told that I'll give 50 shillings immediately, and he gave him 50 shillings and he started his journey. But particular after this incident, what he mentioned, the last two lines, for 50,000 shillings down. Even if a man agrees to give me 50,000 shillings, not 50 shillings. This one he took 50 shillings. But he says, finally, learning a lesson, making a decision that even if someone gives him 50,000 shillings, immediately outright, then and there, I would not sail again with sheep. He will never again make his journey with any sheep hereafter. That is, the poem ends with, he learnt a lesson and takes a decision and makes a determination that even if he is paid a huge amount of money of 50,000 shillings, he will never again sail with sheep. And that is what he has learnt, and he told the readers about his decision, with which the poem ends. I hope you have understood the poem. It's very easy. Still then, I would request you again that if you haven't understood, again, both the lessons I am talking of, if you have not understood, please get your doubts cleared by ringing me or calling me or sending me a message, so that I would give you some suggestions so that your doubts will be cleared. Is it fine? Have you understood it? Okay. This is the end of second chapter of your syllabus for your first trimester. Left is one more story which is in 3 parts. Okay. Thank you for listening to me.